Let's move on to the next question. Together, the CEOs of General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis make 336 times the income of rank and file workers. The richest 1% now control 1/5 of all income. Do you support how these companies operate?
Look, the simple answer is all of these companies and the politicians in Congress all work together. Let me repeat again. In China, they call it state capitalism. The Communist Party and all the leaders of all the companies are one. They're in the same party. In the United States, we have this illusion that there are these leaders who head up companies completely different than the Congress people. Everyone, all of Silicon Valley owns every politician in Congress. All right. The reason on November 16th, 2018, that CISA was passed, Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Act. Think about this. Donald Trump signed it into law, which destroyed the First Amendment, which allowed government to control all the social media companies. This unholy alliance, and every member of Congress voted for it, every member of the Senate, House, and Congress. And that should be very clear that in the United States, all the leaders of the major Fortune 1000 companies and government are absolutely one. In fact, they rotate between government agencies and their jobs. So it should be very clear to people that these people are one. We shouldn't separate them at all. That's a real lesson that people need to take away, Chris.
Yeah, I think sometimes people confuse what we have today with actual capitalism when I believe we actually have crony capitalism because the lobbyists are in bed with politicians. And
well, it's worse than that. Organized crime. Let's be very simple what this is. This is organized criminals. All those people on the debate stage up there, they should all be prosecuted. They're all criminals, from Vivek the Snake to Nikki Haley to all of them, DeSantis, all of them. You're looking at a bunch of organized criminals up there, and they basically represent small and large different crime families. That's what you're witnessing today on the debate stage. And they essentially represent different elements of the swarm. They do not represent you or I. Anything that comes out of their mouth that may sound good has nothing to do with us because they're not one of us. All of these people up on the debate stage are organized criminals. In the first 100 days, we will start issuing executive orders to make sure these kinds of criminals are properly prosecuted. For example, they're all 1 degree of freedom away from the Dubai, Singapore, Liechtenstein cabal, which knows how to do money laundering. Every one of them knows about this. They hate this country. They hate the First Amendment. They hate the Second Amendment. Every one of those people on that stage, they're all they're not one of us, Chris.
I couldn't agree more. And they deserve the right to a
speedy trial and the fullest extent of the law should be executed on them. And we can talk more what I'll do in 100 days, but every one of those people are part of organized crime families. And that's why they're able to get away with their crimes. Vivek the Snake, what he did, he should be fully prosecuted for what he did with the big pharma companies. He bought a failed drug that failed 4 times for $5 million and resuscitated it with his mother's help based on data that they munged together to take a useless drug and then to promote it to very poor working people who thought by buying his stock, he's going to find a cure for Alzheimer's. Guy's a complete scam artist, but he's representative of all of them. He's representative of all of them.
We'd be here all night if we were to discuss each one of their crimes.
The real question is, what are we going to do about that crime? Let's focus on the real crime. You say the real crime is all those guys on stage. And that's why the only solution for everyone listening is you got to go to shivaforpresident.com and get ready to vote for Shiva for president. Get one of these bumper stickers and put it on the back of your car. And when you do that, you're saying a big fuck you. And what you're saying is, I'm going to come after all of you criminals by voting for Dr. Shiva. You see how they phrase these questions? It's an assumption that they're not criminals. Okay. Chris Christie was the attorney general or whatever, the governor of New Jersey, where I grew up in. He's a fucking criminal, right? Who's he? He's a mobster. Look at him. He's a fat fucking mobster, right? By the way, I went to school with him. He used to be the catcher on our baseball team. Put on a lot of weight since then. But regardless of that, all of those people on the stage, Chris, are all criminals. The issue is, what are we going to do to jail them? What are we going to do to prosecute all of them? And why are they even on the debate stage? It's a crime that they use social media and then they have this alliance with government to make our campaign invisible. Is that not a crime? How many civil rights laws does that break? How many election interference laws does that break? So they get away with crime every day. Okay. So we need to really define who's the criminal here. They're the criminals.